Hey, Kyle here. It has been quite a long time since I've actually painted anything, which kind of makes it hard for me to justify calling myself a painter. So I got to change that. I'm in my painting clothes. Okay, so I've set out a canvas down here, and I've used some elastic bands to sort of hold it together to wrinkle it up, taking some inspiration from tie-dye. This goes back to a style of painting I was doing way back during my OCAD days. As a painter, I try to be very aware of my strengths and my weaknesses. And one of my weaknesses is pulling something that's entirely made up and entirely from my head and turning it into a painting. And it's just something about the angles and the line widths and the variation. It just seems too predictable. I've always liked having something there that I'm kind of not really fighting with or working with, but I just like there to be some sort of, you know, something there to start with. Before I stumbled upon using projected imagery that I generated ahead of time, I would do techniques like this. It was sort of a way of combining randomness or chance with my will being imposed on that random chance afterwards. What I do is I take this canvas and spray it with multiple colors of paint at different angles that I spray on with a hand pump spray bottle. I start off usually using a cool lemon, yellow, magenta, and then a blue that's usually close to either a cyan or a cerulean. This one is called primary blue, but by eye that looks a little too warm to me, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm really curious to see how these elastic bands look. I saw them sitting around in my pile of crap and thought, hey, that'll do interesting stuff with this. My old studio was a real dump, so I didn't feel bad about ruining it. This one, everything's really nice, so I've got a good, nice sheet of vapor barrier surrounding everything, because if you're airbrushing or spray, anything gets everywhere.
Believe it or not, raw canvas is actually slightly hydrophobic at first. So before I actually do any of the painting,
I like to just spritz it down with hot water and then give it maybe 15 minutes or so to soak in. And that way, when I'm actually applying the paint, you want it to be slightly damp so it's absorbing the water, but you don't want it to be wet so that when the paint goes in, it just starts bleeding and spreading, because I've used some flow release to break the surface tension, which also makes the acrylic, when it's watered down, act a lot more like watercolor. So it's really going to spread through everything. So a little bit of damp, but definitely not wet. One thing I've done with this one that I've never done before is spray on a layer of white coming from above and black coming from below. At first, I was really disappointed and upset because it really killed and ruined all the beautiful color harmonies and combinations I had going on down in here. But then I gave it about 2 hours to dry, and it tends to look a lot darker when the spray is first applied, and then it kind of soaks into the canvas. Anyway, now we're at the best part, which is where I unravel the canvas and we see what it looks like. Take this elastic band off, and let's see what that does. Okay, good. There's some nice raw canvas exposed. I wasn't expecting that. This is actually a two-hand job. That was a bad choice of word. This is a task that will require the utilization of both hands. Yeah, that doesn't sound like sexual innuendo. Sometimes it is worth it to spring for the wireless. Did I just show my butt crack to the road? What do you think? Well, that's my painting.